Many people worry about public speaking because of the audience. They're worried about if the audience listens, if the audience laughs, if the audience buys their product or service. They're worried about how the audience will react to their presentation. But what if there was a way to stop worrying about the audience? My name's Kyle Murter. I'm a public speaking champion, author, and in this video, I want to share with you two experiences which changed how I viewed my audience. The first experience was when I did a stand-up comedy course. It was 6 weeks long, and every week we met up on Zoom at the time, and our teacher, who was a comedian, taught us how to put jokes together, how to refine our script, how to make our 5-minute comedy set as funny as possible. And then at the end of the course, we had a weekend where we were going to deliver our 5 minutes on a Friday night and on a Saturday night to an audience of family, friends, and anyone who came along to this small local pub. Now, on the Friday night, I delivered my 5 minutes to the audience and it went fantastic. I had people laughing from start to finish or from my entire set. In fact, you can view my 5-minute comedy speech on my YouTube channel if you want. It went down great. But on the Saturday, things were a little bit different. Now, I delivered the exact same 5 minutes, had the exact same words, the exact same jokes, the exact same energy, but none of the audience laughed on the Saturday. The silence in the room was so piercing. Honestly, it was so bad. I was getting nothing from the audience. I was incredibly embarrassed, and I left that night feeling pretty dejected and confused. I mean, what had happened? Nothing had changed from the Friday night to the Saturday night, except for the audience. And I thought to myself, isn't that interesting? That one audience can react completely differently from another audience. And then I had another experience which reinforced this even more. A couple years ago, I was going through a bit of a dry spot in my business. I wasn't getting a lot of clients or speaking engagement, and money was tight. But I did have this one keynote which I was delivering at a conference. And at this conference, I knew there would be lots of corporate companies there in attendance. And I thought to myself, I need to make the most of this opportunity. I need to make sure that at the end of my presentation, all of these corporates are coming up to me and wanting me to do work with them. I've got to get some clients from this speech. So, went to the conference, delivered the 1-hour speech, and it went great. Again, had the audience laughing, had them fully engaged. They seemed to really enjoy the topic. But no one came up to me afterwards. No one inquired about my services. I didn't get any clients from the keynote. Then 1 year later, I was invited back to the same conference to deliver the same speech, but this time I went in with a different goal. Instead of looking to gain clients for myself, instead of looking to gain business, I just said to myself, you know what? I'm going to give the audience as much value as possible. That's all I'm going to do. They decide what they do with it. So I went to the conference, delivered the presentation, and once again, it went great. Had them laughing, engaged, enthralled, and interestingly enough, after my talk, I got 5 inquiries, and 2 of them became new clients. Once again, both presentations were more or less the same. The only thing that changed was the audience and my mindset. You see, what I learned from that stand-up comedy experience and that conference experience is that we as speakers cannot fully control the audience. We can't control if they laugh or they don't. We can't control if they buy or if they don't. That is not within our power. As speakers, all we can do is control what we say, how we deliver it, and how we approach the presentation. That's it. The result is often in the hands of the audience. And I think the mistake most people make is they place their self-worth on that result. i.e., I am not a good speaker because the audience didn't laugh. I am not a good speaker because the audience didn't buy. And by doing that, you are putting yourself in a very dangerous situation. Because you are literally saying, here's my confidence, you decide if I get to keep it or not. And long term, that's not a sustainable way to feel confident during public speaking. Because if you do this for long enough, you're going to come across audiences who are not that engaged, who don't want to listen to you, who simply just don't react the way you hoped. And of course, you must learn as much as you can from these experiences. You have to figure out if there's something you could have done better. But you also must realize that that result is not fully within your control. And sometimes it wasn't you who was the problem. It was just that audience on that particular day at that particular time. So what should you do to stop worrying about the audience? Well, in my opinion, your mindset should be on what you can control. So focusing on what you say, how you say it, how you approach the presentation. Those three things are within your control. And if you focus on leveling up what you say, how you say it, and how you think before a presentation, you'll often find that the result will take care of itself. Now, before any presentation, what I say to myself is, Kyle, you're going to be confident, compelling, playful, and you're going to give the audience as much value as possible. They decide what they do with it. That statement allows me to worry less about the outcome and focus more on what I can control. Now, if you're hearing this and thinking, but Kyle, I'm not confident, I'm not compelling, well, something which might help you tremendously is my one-to-one coaching. This is where I work with you online and we focus on developing your body language, developing your voice, developing your storytelling, developing your structure, developing you into the compelling, confident speaker you were always meant to be. If you're interested in learning more about how that works, send me an email at kyle@confidencebydesign.co.uk and I will get back to you within 24 hours with more information on how the training works. See you in the next video.